Yoru is one of the least played Valorant agents in competitive matchmaking. This is because the agent's abilities are pretty hard to use correctly. While he does have an arsenal of selfish abilities, if used correctly, they can be extremely beneficial to your team. But still, the average ranked player doesn't know how to use them correctly, and picking this agent is oftentimes seen as a troll pick, indicating that you might be throwing the game. I'm gonna do Yoru some justice and at least share his story and his lore because it seems like this agent doesn't even have that done very well. Growing up in Tokyo, Japan, Yoru is the 15th agent to join the Valorant protocol. He has a strong dislike for Kingdom without ever really mentioning why, and he's also very upset at what they've done with the map Split, turning the life of a peaceful city into a sleek HQ. This makes sense because Split is located in Tokyo, which is Yoru's hometown. His radiant abilities allow him to tear into the fabric of reality with small rifts that he can then go through or teleport through whenever he wants, giving him the familiar nickname of Riftwalker. Yoru is among the small handful of Valorant agents who have the ability to manipulate dimensions, alongside Astra, ISO, and Clove. The reason I say Clove is because although they don't technically manipulate dimensions, when they half die, their soul enters a dimension where they can still help out the team, but not even Astra was able to detect them in the astral plane, which is something that was concerning for Astra regarding Clove's powers. More on that in Clove's lore video. Yoru's overall set of abilities closely match what he's like as a character. He dislikes teamwork and likes to do things on his own, given his many voice lines where he expresses this.
You're all obsessed with teamwork, so I'll try it. But just this once.
He likes to act as a lone wolf and do things his own way. His inability to hold on to relationships and acquaintances is one of his biggest personal flaws as mentioned by Fade. Yoru's lore, in my opinion, is probably one of the most interesting and unique lores among the protocol. He has been on a personal journey to uncover secrets and learn more about his lost ancestor. Basically, Yoru hails from a line of ancient samurai ancestors who lived in the Edo period of Japan, between 1603 and 1867. Yoru is fascinated by his ancestors and wants to uncover all the secrets that they have left behind. There's a Japanese warship that can be found on the map Icebox, where the sailors of the ship were among the lost ancestors of Yoru. Desperate to seek answers, Yoru has infiltrated Icebox many times before the Valorant protocol even went on their mission to secure it. He was able to locate one of the most important artifacts of his heritage when he had broken in, and that was a mask that was part of a samurai armor suit being held in the facility. This ancient mask is what Yoru puts on when he activates his dimensional drift to go invisible and traverse without being seen. It was soon after this event that Yoru was then recruited into the protocol. Yoru's mask is filled with radianite and it uncovers a large part of the Valorant's overall lore, where it's evidence that radianite had existed long before the First Light event, and it goes far into history. Even Yoru questions this mask, saying that if Kingdom discovered radianite 10 years ago, why is his mask filled with it? In case you didn't know, this destroyed section on Icebox is actually where Yoru broke in and took the mask from. If you look close, you can see an armored samurai suit that was stored here, and the mask was most definitely taken from this encasement. Especially since on the side you can see a symbol that resembles the mask, further pointing out that the mask was stored here. Even after Yoru takes this mask, he's not done with his mission of learning more about his ancestor. He continues to explore Icebox after being told not to by Brimstone, particularly interested in the warship. Yoru tells Brimstone that he found some dimensional scarring on the sides of the ship and he believes that the ship did not sail from Japan. If this ship did not sail from Japan, that means that the entire thing was somehow teleported into the area. And in addition to Yoru's mask being filled with radianite, it's clear that his ancestors were in possession of quite a large sum of radianite and had somehow learned how to use it in advanced ways. One of the most interesting things about this warship is that Yoru came across a dimensional fabric that felt weaker and older to him. He fell into it and explained that the space he entered was different from moving from point A to point B. Rather, it felt like he was moving from now to then, meaning that he was somehow traveling backwards in time. As he pushed as far as he could go to see where it would lead, Yoru could hear someone calling to him, a woman, and he swears that he knows who this voice is, but he simply cannot properly identify it. Could this be Yoru's mother reaching out to him from the past to try and tell him something, or is it just one of his ancestors? We don't know right now. It looks like Yoru's riftwalking abilities extends beyond moving from different points in the natural thread of time, but he can break that barrier and go backwards in time, and obviously implied forwards in time as well. Yoru has obviously not been able to understand these abilities yet, as we're only able to see him travel between two different points in the same time period. but maybe as he uncovers more about his past, he may learn how to maximize his radiant powers and do things that are completely unprecedented. What we do know is that Yoru is able to use his interdimensional drift in various other ways, such as storing things like his mask and his butterfly comb. This is why when Yoru uses his ultimate, he rips open a small rift where he stores his mask, and pulls that out before entering the dimension. This mask apparently allows him to see clearly while in the dimension as well. Episode 2's retake cinematic points out many of the things I talked about, like Yoru having already been on Icebox before, as he mentions it with Phoenix. We also get a good glimpse of Yoru's cocky nature as well.
You in position yet?
Working on it.
What's taking so long? I thought you knew this place.
I do. Don't rush me.
We don't have time. I'm going in.
Do that, and you're gonna get the bullet in your head.
Please. Let me show you how the boss does it.
Phoenix, don't.
I told you, bruv. Leave it to the boss. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell was that for?
I told you you'd get shot.
Not by you.
Well, she shot first.
First? So you did shoot me? You really gonna do the same? Oh, so you're gonna walk away? Okay. I see how it is.
While Yoru overall is anti-teamwork and seems to pretty much dislike everyone, he does show some respect for Reina because of her skill and ruthlessness in battle, something that they share in common.
Nice, Reina. I don't know why the rest of us are even here.
He's also pretty friendly with Phoenix to an extent where he throws banter towards him over being the better duelist. With Jet, Yoru has tried to ask her what brand her knives are because he wants to add it onto his collection, meaning that somewhere in the rift, Yoru apparently has a knife collection he keeps. Omen is one of the agents in the protocol who has a great deal of respect towards Yoru. This is mostly because of Omen's ability to teleport around just like Yoru, although he doesn't necessarily enter another dimension. Omen has noted that Yoru leaves pieces of himself behind when he rift walks.
I'm curious, Rift Walker. When you travel, can you feel the pieces you leave behind?
This is really important because this says that rift walking is actually dangerous and damaging for Yoru. Every time he does it, he loses a little bit of himself and leaves it behind. While we haven't seen anything significant from this as of yet, it is an important thing to be mindful of. I also want to note that while Yoru's ancestors were samurais, Yoru himself doesn't really fall into that same category. Samurais are fierce warriors who engage into combat head-on, and while Yoru does show this trait often, his abilities are the polar opposite. He's able to teleport behind enemies and go completely invisible and sneak up on them. These are traits that fall more along the lines of spies, which tie into ninjas, not samurais. I'm not too sure what the significance of this is. It may not mean anything, it may just be Yoru's own unique style, but it is a good point for discussion. We haven't gotten much of an update on Yoru's lore yet, as it seems like there haven't been much he's been uncovering. He may have stopped for now as the protocol are more engaged on other missions, like the war with the hourglass. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got to learn a little bit more about Yoru and his lore. He's a really fascinating agent, and I wish that Riot could develop his lore a little bit more because it's really interesting and historical. The new map Abyss does reference Radiant artifacts that date back far into time, including the Oni katana. So it's very possible that we could get some updates on Yoru's lore sometime in the near future. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and leave your comments below on what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.